The following podcast will contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. I've got a weather prediction for you. It's going to be cold, it's going to be gray, and it's going to last you the rest of your life.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Cue theme song! Hey everybody, what's going on? It is the Four Guys and a Movie podcast where a bunch of guys get together and talk about movies. It's fun. I'm your host this week, Rob, joined by my pals.
Will.
Tony Ryerson.
And Punxsutawney Joe.
Hey! This episode, we are digging way back into the 90s for Groundhog Day.
Rob,
Day.
Is it too early for flapjacks?
It's never too early for flapjacks. Is it too early for sex? Is, I believe, the subtext of this movie. Hey, Will, have you ever seen Groundhog Day before?
Oh yeah, this is a classic. My dad's a big Bill Murray fan, so we had all the Bill Murray's movies on VHS, and it was definitely a constant rotation.
And what did you think about it? Like the first?
I think as a kid you think it's hilarious, and
Yeah.
it's like, haha, this guy's like having to do the same thing every day, and always trying to like smooch this girl, and like, oh, it's so fun. Then watching it as an adult, you're like, God damn, this is dark.
Joe, how about you?
You know, I don't know if I've...
Oh, we lost you.
You lost me? Hello?
Yeah, we got you now.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen the beginning of this movie. But I know I've seen it from the middle on a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like at the part before they arrive in Punxsutawney, I don't know if I had ever seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's mostly inconsequential.
Oh, yeah.
Really. But all right. Yeah, and what did you think about it before today?
Oh, I would always watch it when it's on.
Yeah.
I always got a good chuckle out of the Groundhog Day.
Small aside, how do you feel about the Snake Eyes movie?
How do I feel?
Yeah, being our G.I. Joe guy.
I mean, it's far too long removed for me to care.
Okay.
And G.I. Joe, I never really... Like, I liked the cartoon when I was a kid because I had the toys and whatnot, but that was one of those things that I've never been like, this should be a cinematic work.
That's fair.
I mean, we got the G.I. Joe movie. That was enough. No one's
Right.
going to replace Don Johnson. And then Snake Eyes, I was never all that wild about, but I don't think I ever really had the figure.
Gotcha. All right. Tony, Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen this in its entirety at least once or twice. I'm sure I've caught bits of it here and there because I think it played at one point on like TBS or something every Groundhog's Day. So I've definitely seen this more than once.
And what did you think of it before today?
Kind of with Will, like I just, oh, this is a cute, fun movie, and now it's kind of, I appreciate it more now, but I also do see more of the darker side of things.
Yeah, I'm about on the same level. I've seen this movie an uncomfortable amount of times.
A Groundhog level number of times.
Yeah, for real. And I think it's probably just stemming from the fact that it was on like TBS and all those channels like constantly. And every time it was on, I was like, oh, this is a completely innocuous kind of thing I can watch. Yeah, so there you go. So who's in this film? Or tell us some trivia about this film. Dealer's choice.
Tony goes first here.
All right. Tony, go first.
Okay, so
I need to come up with a gimmick.
You do.
All right, I'll work on it.
okay.
How many Mr. Skin scenes are in this?
Oh Jesus! All right, so
He's in the shower.
yeah, obviously it's Groundhog's Day from 1993, directed by the late great Harold Ramis, who I forgot the number of bad movies he's done.
What a fat ass he is in this film.
Wow, no, I didn't forget that, but he also
I forgot
did.
he had a cameo in it.
Yeah,
That's a big Twinkie.
But he did Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, as well as Multiplicity and Bedazzled.
Mm.
When it came to casting for Phil Connors, originally they wanted Tom Hanks, and then they considered others such as Steve Martin, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase, but they were all considered too nice.
I would love to see Steve Martin do this movie.
Tom Hanks, I think, would have been it would have been a different vibe. Totally.
It'd be
Well,
too.
this was right before Tom Hanks was like, I'm going to be a serious actor and win all the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like Turner and Hooch.
Yeah, but still,
right pre-Forrest Gump.
I can't see him stealing a car and driving it off a cliff or.
No, Bill Murray was the perfect casting for this.
Yeah. But they also at one point looked at Michael Keaton, who turned it down because he found it too confusing.
He's like, am I raping this chick or what?
Apparently in the final shot when they, kind of go over the gate instead of through it, that's because the gate was in fact frozen shut.
Mhm.
Wow.
They couldn't get it open. When trying to get the acting directions, Murray, I guess, told Ramis, just tell me good Phil or bad Phil. Just did his thing.
Okay.
Harold Ramis also told them during the snowball fight to throw the snowballs at him as hard as they possibly could, which of course caused him to say fuck it and throw them back as hard as he could.
Nice.
And the "Don't Drive Angry" line was improvised to try and cover for the fact that the groundhog was clearly agitated and did not want to be there, held in that scene, and even bit him multiple times.
Damn.
To the point where he needed some medical, attention and some anti-rabies injections and such.
Nice.
Jeez, PETA was like.
What about the groundhog's lines?
They were all
Was that
improvised.
Okay.
Yeah. So, want to guess how much the movie cost to make?
I got a question before we do that.
Okay, shoot.
In any of the trivia you looked at or anything like that, were there any breakdowns of how long people think that Phil spent in the Groundhog Day loop?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
It's like 10,000 years or something, or like.
Well, at one point they
10,000
thought,
days.
yeah, at one point there was discussion of, the idea was it was going to be like 10,000 years. I believe during a commentary, Harold Ramis said ultimately it was probably about 10 years.
Jesus.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I would lose track. There'd be no way I would be able to keep an accurate
Yeah.
count of how many days went by. I couldn't write it down anywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that somebody also said, like, if you actually count it out, you only see, like, I think it was like 36 days pass.
Hmm.
Right.
But
But that doesn't
That doesn't-
count like the days where he was like learning how to be an ice.
Right. Like
Yes.
mastering piano and ice sculpting and French.
exactly.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
I'm gonna say $8 million for the budget.
Oh, yeah. I'll say 12 million.
12 million and $1.
Ooh, bastard.
Good call, I guess. It was 14 and a half.
Hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew it had to be higher than 12, but not by a lot.
So $1.
Hmm.
Nice.
Guess how much it made?
I'm gonna say 25.
25 and $1.
$1.
It was 71 million.
Wow. Damn.
All right.
What?
I just wanted to
Yeah.
be a jerk and make sure that Rob could not in any way win this.
That's fine. Fair.
But yeah, this is a widely praised movie. Most people think it's like one of the best comedies of all time.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I was about to say.
All
I
right.
completely lost my train of thought.
So, yeah, 14 million gets you a Bill Murray,
Yep.
gets you an Andy McDowell.
Hmm.
I should say Bill Murray is playing Phil Connors. Andy McDowell is playing Rita, and you got a Chris Elliott as Larry. And if you get a Bill Murray, it's not hard to get a Brian Doyle Murray as Buster.
You get one of those for like a quarter of the price.
It's hard
Yeah.
not to, really.
And we'll even throw in a Stephen Tobolowsky for free.
Yep. So, yeah, that's really all the principal characters right there. There's a few minor ones, but there's really not a lot of cast in this film. A lot of just background extras.
True dat. Yeah, nobody else really has any.
There's like characters, but they're not like really worth noting. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Punxsutawney Phil, who I guess deserves an honorable mention, but it's about.
There will be one or two that I'll bring up later, but.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I think Dan Aykroyd was playing the Groundhog. I think I went uncredited for that.
It was really good makeup. That's where all the budget was.
Sitting in Bill Murray's lap, driving the car.
It's the story of his career.
Vodka. Watch out for UFOs.
All right. So this film begins with just a shot of some clouds.
Yeah, it's weird. I had I've seen this all the times I've seen this movie. I did not remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember ending with the clouds either.
It's playing into the weatherman thing a little more than I remembered or realized.
I guess it's like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, or like kept waiting for the Warner Brothers logo to come up.
All right. So you got Sourpuss Bill Murray here. He's doing the weather. He's talking about that a blizzard is not going to hit the Pittsburgh area. And then he's talking about he's going to go to Punxsutawney to cover the Groundhog Day festivities. And right when it goes off the air, he's got hairs to split with his co-anchor, his production assistant. He's just going after everybody. And here's where you meet Rita, the producer that's going to be working with him. She's blue screening it up. She's got a blue jacket on, so she's just like floating hands and a head on the weather report.
Like an angel.
Now,
like an angel. Yeah.
And so she's played by Andie MacDowell.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever told my Andie MacDowell story on the podcast?
No, please enlighten us.
Okay, so as you can tell from her accent, she's a Southerner.
Yep.
So she was born in South Carolina, and at a certain point, she moved to the western part of North Carolina, the same area that I'm from. And there was a period in my dad's career as a minister where he wasn't at a church. He was kind of in charge of a lot of different churches in the area. So therefore, we didn't have a home base for church. And one Sunday we went to the big church in Asheville, North Carolina, which is the biggest city in Western North Carolina. And we were running really late. I don't know why. I don't remember why. But we had to be escorted to a side area of the church where there was only 10 seats. And after we showed up, Andie MacDowell and her two daughters showed up and were also in this little side chapel with us. Nice. And I remember both of her daughters had bunnies. I guess she'd given them Easter bunnies as
real bunnies.
Yeah,
they were just bunnies to church.
Yeah,
little bunnies just shitting in their laps.
Probably. But now I realized that those two kids are actresses now. So that was kind of cool.
Now, how did they manage the bunnies? Because I know you went to a snake handling church.
Had to keep them away from the rattlers. They were actually sacrificed.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
I hope it's also not the church where they let the eagle loose and played the majestic Americana music as it flew into the giant window.
I'm not familiar with that.
And then it picked up the rabbits along the way.
Watch that. It's awful. They thought that they would be so impressive with the eagle flying around inside the mega church. And
they let an eagle loose?
Yeah.
So I thought you said evil, and I thought it was some interpretive dance that they did.
Nope. So the eagle's flying around. It sees the big ass window. It's like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. It just flies into the glass.
Oh, that
falls on the ground. It's pretty brutal.
I've seen a video of some college mascot was the Eagles, and they let the eagle go in the football stadium, and it went rogue and attacked some people.
Yeah, I mean, Jeez.
Wild animal.
It's cool. He's got 6-inch talons. It'll be fine.
Public service announcement from the 4 a.m. podcast. Don't play with eagles.
You don't. They are
let them
be prey.
Yep.
All right, so that's my Andie MacDowell story. I think my dad remembers that we spoke briefly, and she was pretty nice. So
that's pretty cool. Well, was Andie MacDowell just a floating head and a pair of hands during that story?
Yeah,
she was filled with the Holy Spirit.
She was filled with Christ's love.
Well, thanks, Andie MacDowell. If you're listening, we
love you.
We're on your side.
All right, so. While they're driving to Punxsutawney, you get the most generic ass "I'm your weatherman" kind of love song.
Yeah. Was that Bruce Willis doing a little song?
It very well could have been. You get some banter in the van. Phil's just like, oh, I hate going to Punxsutawney. I hate Larry. You're okay, Rita, because I want to sleep with you. And then like they show up at the hotel in Punxsutawney, and he's like, I'm not staying here. And Rita's like, no, that's fine. You're going to a bed and breakfast. I'll stay here.
I'm
And
not
then,
staying at this shithole that you're staying at.
Yeah. So then Phil shows up at his bed and breakfast, checks in, goes to sleep, and it begins. 6 a.m. I Got You, Babe plays. Bill Murray gets up. He says he talks to a guy in the hallway, asking if he's going to see the groundhog. The groundhog. Talks to the lady who runs the bed and breakfast. And he's like, do you have an espresso? And she's like, I'll see if we have that in the kitchen. And,
was that a thing in the 90s, like espresso cappuccino?
Yes.
That like
well, you were a yuppie motherfucker.
Yeah, I think
if
it's
you
like
were
a
doing
carryover
that.
from the whole yuppie thing, just
Yeah.
establishing, I think, that he's an asshole.
okay, so that was
This is
like the
before
big-
Starbucks, where you could just get that shit anywhere.
Yeah, like the big dick swinging, like
Yeah,
cappuccino.
Yeah.
This
Like,
was
it isn't-
around the beginning of the Frasier movement.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't even seem like his character would be a espresso cappuccino guy, but it's almost like he was doing it to be a dick. Like,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes.
Because now it's like just everybody just drinks coffee, or
Mhm.
if you get that, it's like I'm a
latte.
teenage girl, I'm gonna get a latte or
Orange mocha frappuccino.
yeah.
So he gets in a freak gasoline fight accident with the woman who
man,
owned the
better
bed and breakfast. She's asking if he's going to check out today. He's like, chance of departure 100%. And then he goes into a routine that we'll see many, many times over, where he comes around a corner, sees a homeless man, ignores him, runs into needle nose Ned Ryerson,
Mm-hmm.
who wants to sell him some life insurance. And like he's like, I would like to stay and talk to you, but I won't. And then just walks away. But Ned's chasing him, so he steps in this giant pothole.
All right.
Um,
This
What's that?
hole. This hole.
Yeah.
It's like if a horse stepped in this hole, you'd have to put a bullet in its head. Like
yeah, no, that horse would be dead.
it's 3 friggin' feet deep, and this
Mhm.
dude steps in it every time. You think like the first time he stepped in it, you think like his leg would just snap off at the knee.
Yeah.
I just had a thought. Maybe that is like the time portal that started the
Mm.
the time loop. It's the only explanation of why it would be there.
So now he arrives at the strangely named Gobbler's Knob.
Yep.
Where
It's like
Where-
their version of make out point.
Yeah.
we all had a chuckle, and I guess that's where Punxsutawney Phil hangs out.
Yeah. Hangs out.
So yeah.
That's where they
Hanging
stuff
brain.
him.
That's where they stuff him in a tree trunk.
When they let him out of that 1 by 1 foot cage that he's kept in 364 days out of the year.
In
So-
Brian Bill Murray's basement.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the groundhog ritual. He is pulled out and presented before the crowd, who
Be
cheers,
gentle, that groundhog's my wife.
who cheers in amazement, probably thinking they're going to eat it later. And while this is happening, Phil he gives a little spiel, and then he he's hitting on Rita when they're not on the air. We find out there will be 6 more weeks of winter, and Phil's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. We got to escape before but that blizzard he said that was going to miss Pittsburgh is not missing Pittsburgh. They're stuck. They go on the highway. They can't get past this tractor trailer truck that's blocking the whole highway. They have to turn back around and stop at a gas station where all the phone lines are also down from blizzard.
And oh my God, was this the first time I ever realized how terribly green screen that was?
Mm.
What
And,
part?
When he's talking to the police officer.
Oh, I didn't
oh
know.
yeah, no, they're in 2 separate shots.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like I never really I don't think I cared enough to pay attention to it to that degree, but like this time watching it, I was just like, holy shit, that is fake as hell.
Yeah, I don't think Bill Murray was ever on that set. And yeah, he's talking about, is there a line for celebrities? Is there a line for emergencies? And he's like, well, I'm a celebrity in an emergency. And then he's hit in the face with a snow shovel by someone walking by. And he caps his day off back at the bed and breakfast with a cold shower. He goes to bed because there's no hot water, I guess, on Groundhog Day.
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
I had a note about that. Like, what kind of establishment is this old lady running where there's no hot water at night?
Yeah.
The guy that usually sits in the water reservoir to warm it up takes Groundhog Day off every year.
Yeah, like, what is that? You're just, like, do they ration waters on certain days? Yeah.
My guess is it's either just a tiny bed and breakfast, so they didn't have enough hot water for everybody, or because of the snowstorm, whatever they got going on was not enough.
I guess. So,
and also
now,
he was in the shower when he turned it on, which is just a fucking dumb
yeah,
move.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Rookie.
you test that water before you get in there.
Rookie
also,
move.
what the hell was to put your hand over the faucet and try to, like, adjust? No, you get out.
Right.
Like, once it's like that, fuck it. Either get out or back up so the faucet can't hit you, or turn the faucet so it can't, like, hit you with the water anymore. Either way, he wakes up the next day, 6 a.m., same I got you, babe. The people are saying the same exact thing they said yesterday. They say it's Groundhog Day. Runs into the same dude in the hallway. She freaks out on him and calls him Pork Chop.
And that's that character's name now.
Yep. Talks to the innkeeper and tells her this time there's like a 80 to 75% chance of departing. Runs into the same homeless man, same Ned, same pothole, same ceremony. Except this time he's like, I already did this. No one believes him. He drops the mic and gets out of there. Then he takes another cold shower, and you see right before bed, he breaks a pencil and puts one on the alarm and one on the table, one half of it. Then the alarm goes off, 6 a.m. I got you, babe. The pencil's back together. And Phil starts freaking out. Now he's just running from everybody.
Apparently also originally at some point, I think maybe he was supposed to have a freak out and totally like go Tommy Wiseau in the whole room and wreck everything and then wake up and it's all back together.
Hump someone's dress.
Including the dress.
Throw the TV out the window.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. So yeah, he runs from the homeless man, runs from Ned, still steps in the pothole, runs from the ceremony, basically skips it, and goes to the diner with Rita afterwards. Rita's all pissed because she's like, you just fucking fucked up the whole thing we came down here to do. And he's like, I need help. So she's like, go get some medical help. Go see Harold Ramis. He's a neurologist, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Harold's like, your brain's fine. You just suck. So he goes to a psychologist who looks like he just got his like BA in psychology or BS in psychology. He's all proud of the fact that
he just got his Tim Burton in psychology.
Yeah, it's a Brian.
Oh, Brian.
What's up, fellas?
Not much. How you be? Sweet.
I'll be all right.
Sweet man.
What I miss?
We're at the scene where Phil's at the psychologist.
Okay.
And he basically, the guy's like, come back tomorrow. Phil decides he would better use his time by just smothering himself with the pillow.
Well, because that is, it's such a dumb move to be like, oh, your problem is you feel like you're reliving the same day. We'll come back tomorrow. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. So
he's used to people dealing with like Groundhog related issues.
Yeah. He only treats Groundhog Day related problems, not this nonsense.
So
I do want to point out that this area of the movie right here reminds me how fucked up this movie it really is, because there's no way whatever insurance he had would have got him to see a psychiatrist and a medical doctor all the same day. No way.
Maybe in a small town though.
1993 insurance might be able to.
Well, not only that, it's Groundhog Day. You think all those places will be closed?
Yeah. So
real quick, just real quick. I apologize, Joe. Brian, have you seen this movie before?
Yes, I have.
What was your opinion of this movie up until today?
I I thought it was a great movie. I mean, you know, I always watch every time it came on just because how outrageous it gets and all that kind of shit. But yeah, you know, it's a great movie. I think everyone loves this movie. Who doesn't love this movie? I don't know. It's probably Joe. Probably Joe doesn't.
Well, I mean, we'll find out.
You. All right.
Which,
So-
by the way, means Rob.
Yeah. There are two like hillbillies you see throughout this movie.
I
That
think they're
Phil's
more
now
yokels.
Yeah.
yokels, whatever.
I take
Um,
offense to hillbilly.
All right, I don't know my various redneck tiers.
But
My
they're the
apologies.
closest
They're
to, like,
yokels.
That appear. They're just
Yeah.
regular working class.
Well, the
guys.
one guy looks like Barney Grumble in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if they
So-
did a Simpsons live action movie, they'd have to get him for Barney.
they're getting drunk at the bowling alley, and Phil's talking about some day where he was in some island, met a lady, they made love like sea otters,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
It means they broke open clams on their chest.
Yeah,
And then they
shellfish
sleep by
were
holding-
involved.
They go to bed holding each other in the water so they
Yeah.
don't float away.
So
Sweet.
they're both way too drunk to drive. So Phil's like, "All right, I'll drive." And so when he gets
'Cause
them
I'm
all
not
in the
drunk,
car,
just
Yeah.
suicidal.
he's like, "Well, what would you do if you were, you were living the same day over and over and over again?" And they're like, "Well, I'd do whatever I want because there'd be
I'm
no
like,
consequences."
That's my life now.
Yeah, yeah. One of them did say that.
Yeah.
So Phil's
Where
like,
did
"All
I
right,
feel that?
fuck it, let's go on a little rampage here." Not hit a mailbox. Starts like getting chased by the cops. Drives on the railroad track. Plays chicken with a train. He's like, "I'm betting he's gonna swerve first." And he finally crashes into a car, and the cop just casually walks up there to the window.
Just saunters over.
And
Well,
so
yeah, this is 93.
the cops, he basically just gives like a fast food order to the cop when he comes to the window. And that's when, he orders a bunch of stuff and the guy's like, "Is it too early for flapjacks?" So then Phil gets thrown in jail, wakes up the next day. He's out of jail, back where he was before. Now he's happy. Now he's like, "I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want." Tells the innkeeper he's going to stay for another day. Still avoids
He kisses
the,
her.
Yeah.
what's that?
He kisses her.
Yep. Still avoids the homeless guy. Just fucking punches Ned right in the face. Jumps over the pothole. And then I gotta give him the Fat Chat nomination here, because after the doing the news, he just goes to the diner and he's like, "I'm ordering everything. I'm eating fucking
It was
everything.
amazing. Glorious.
Now here's the
Consequences
thing.
be damned."
Here's the thing.
Yep.
He may be immune to the long-term effects of this meal,
Uh-huh.
but he is not immune to the almost immediate diarrhea fountain that's going to launch from his anus after eating all that sugar.
They look like a couple of milkshakes.
He was chugging coffee like straight out the pitcher. Like,
He
come
put a
on,
whole
man.
piece of cake in his mouth
At once.
at once.
So when we progress to the part where he's trying to kill himself, I hope one of the times he's just like, "I gotta see how much food I could eat before I die.
First.
We're gonna 7 this up."
Oh, God.
Anyway, so yeah, he eats everything. Just it's like one shot takes a whole piece of cake in his mouth. Well, Rita reads a poem called "The Wretch," and he's talking about he's not afraid of anything anymore. And then on the way out the diner, he's just like, "Hey, Nancy, I'm gonna get all your personal information and walk away."
Just the creepiest human being there ever was.
Fucking
Like-
stranger danger.
Like the perspective he takes on his whole predicament is he treats it like a video game. He's
Yep.
like, "All right, if I just learn about this part and come back the next time, I can pass it." And
Yeah.
that's what you thought. Like for the next
Like
so
like
much,
an escape room where it's like you slowly have to put all the clues together.
yeah,
And if you die, you're like, okay, well, I know I got it to this point last time.
he's pulling the can I flirt with this person and get something? It worked. Okay. Like, there's a random NPCs you talk to, but like you're like, can I do anything with this person? Like,
So he basically sets up a date with Nancy, gets her back in his room, getting the makeouts with her, calls her Rita. She's like freaking out because of that. So he's like, I want you to marry me. You know, she agrees to that, still calls her Rita.
Which, like, how fucking crazy is she?
Yeah.
Because, like,
so
she
crazy.
literally just met him today. He made her think that they went to school together, but this is their first time going out. He's like, I love you, marry me. She goes, okay. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's like, no, I just have a weird thing for Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers.
It's this new show. It just came out.
So, yeah, he gets himself involved in the marriage, then, you know, uses the looping day to get out of that.
And who hasn't done that? Come on.
What's
guys.
that?
Who hasn't done that?
Yeah. Then he, you know, because he knows like everyone's routine, so he knows exactly how to rip off an armored car. Fucking steals this money bag, gets some sort of fancy ass car, shows up to the movies as a cowboy with a woman in a French maid
It's
outfit.
got to be a prostitute. Like,
Armed.
Yeah,
He was armed too.
he was armed. He had a piece.
I don't know if she was a prostitute, Rob.
No,
'cause
she was a prostitute.
He's clearly in predator mode, so he's going after everybody in the town.
Yeah, but like you know how he knows everything about everybody in the town?
Mm.
He knew nothing about her. He didn't even know how old she was.
Well, he didn't. He was acting there. He didn't care.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, turns out, with all of the, you know, the world at his fingertips here, all he wants is Rita, which he can't get.
Which is probably why at this point he wants her.
Yep. So we go into like the kind of the third phase of this movie where all it is basically him just trying to get with Rita.
Yeah.
So he finds out what her perfect man description is, and he slowly starts like molding himself to be that, but
Well,
fairly
he's like
disingenuously.
gaslighting her from
Yeah.
Yeah.
for like however many days because he
Like he's
met her
shit.
yesterday. She met him yesterday. For
Yeah.
the first time. I don't know. It's just I think this is the thing I was talking about at the beginning where as a kid you're like, haha, this is funny, but now looking at it like with 2021 eyes, you're like, oh my god, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, no, he's shitty. Like he is
Yeah.
shitty.
So yeah, he you know, rather than actually take on the qualities that she's looking for, he is just figuring out how he can proxy them and set up the perfect day for her.
Right. Let's just manipulate her into bed.
Yep.
Pretty much.
It almost works.
So he fucking just straight out rips a part out of the van, which I'm guessing he's just doing every day now.
It's like a video game. It
Yeah.
really is like you just learn the level.
Yeah, that's,
Like,
that's,
all right.
that's how it goes up.
Like walk over here, do this, walk over here, set this up.
And you see basically he's going through every day and progressing a little bit further in his date with Rita before he fucks it up because he's not actually what he's trying to be.
Yeah, he's still a shitty person, so
And it's
Yeah.
like and you know, Rita the character is just not the type of person who's going to sleep with a guy like on a first date essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
And his goal is to every day be like, no, I'm going to make her be the kind of person that changes her mind to sleep with someone the day after she meets him. And it's just like,
I
you're
can fix
fucking
her.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, it does work in the end.
but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
They don't have sex.
He legit changes his
Yeah.
person actually changes. He's no longer that person. That Phil died. He is no longer that person by the end of the movie. So it's a different person that
Yeah,
she
but he
likes.
does still change her to be the kind of person that will sleep
No,
with someone
they
else
don't.
first.
But they don't have sex that night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
she
I
does
guess
spend the night, but yeah, they don't have
But
sex.
that's more because she cares about him as a genuine
Right.
person.
Yeah. So they have like romantic things happen, but the whole time you're like, oh, this motherfucker's just, you know,
Right.
manipulating circumstances for all of this to
Yeah,
occur.
it's cute and funny, but it's the underlying thing is
Yeah,
shitty.
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like now, as an adult, when I watch this, because I watched this when I was like in my teens and
Yeah.
whatever. Now, when I watch it, I'm like, this is creepy.
Oh yeah.
Like this
It-
dude is
Like how many quote unquote
Yeah.
years of his life did he spend to learn French
Yeah.
or days,
Yeah.
whatever? But still, like, crazy.
And imagine like the horror on Rita when she's like back in his hotel room and he's like, oh, I got your favorite book here. I got your favorite ice cream on the window. Like, I know everything about you.
Do you love me now?
Yeah, I know all your favorite things.
So it degenerates into just a slap montage. All these end with her slapping him. And I like the final one where they're outside her hotel room and she slaps him and then he opens the door for her so she could go in. And then he sees some ice sculptures on the way home and he's like, I got an idea. But that doesn't go anywhere for a while because now it cuts to the next day where Phil wakes up and has basically just lost his entire spirit here. And he just freaks out on everyone at the bed and breakfast, freaks out on Rita and Larry during the newscast, gives her the worst weather forecast ever that Rob quoted at the beginning of the episode. Basically asks Larry if he wants to fight. And then he's like, this is all the Groundhog's fault. And he has to be stopped. And I'm going to be the one to stop him.
Yep.
He just
Side note, I have groundhogs in my yard.
and you're going to be the one to stop them.
I wish I try. I have not tried to kill them yet. I've tried to like put stones around so they can't dig in those areas. I tried coyote piss. It worked for a little bit, but they come on back.
Did you try getting in a pickup truck with one?
Yeah, have you tried teaching them to drive yet?
Not yet. That's next.
Now, did you milk the coyotes yourself?
No. They actually sell coyote piss. It's a.
Oh my! Did you?
Today? You mean John?
You can get that anywhere.
I know a guy.
You mean John? All right.
Yeah. So, have you guys seen the video going around of the guy his wife's getting attacked by a bobcat and he just like picks it up. He's holding the bobcat in front of him and he's like
it's a
that's a goddamn bobcat, and fucking throws it overhead across his yard.
Yeah, it was
just
a rabid
end over
bobcat.
end. He's
North
a
Carolina. It's like him and his wife are like having a nice morning. They're like, okay, bye, see you, honey. Like, have a good day. I don't know where this fucking bobcat.
If you look, she has a pet in an animal carrier, and it was going for the animal carrier.
Oh wow.
Rob, it would be like yeah, it's like your favorite thing in the world. Like he just hucks this animal end over end.
Now let's clarify before I get letters.
I know it's not a puppet.
Yeah, I like it when it is tossed gingerly off camera and then suddenly turns into a puppet flying at the speed of light. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's real.
Yeah. So anyway, he kisses Rita on the cheek, tells her that they did spend a wonderful day together, and then just goes and steals the groundhog and drives off. And I like the whole, the things you could get away with just taking the direct approach, because he just walks up, takes the groundhog. Everyone's like, hey, you can't do that. And he just gets in the pickup truck and drives off. So now you have one police officer, one Brian Doyle Murray, and a news team chasing after him. And yeah, here's where we get the iconic scene where he's letting the groundhog drive the car. He's like, that's not bad for a quadruped. And they drive into a quarry. It's a dead end. They're stuck there. And I love the far shots where you see the stunt driver, which clearly just has a groundhog puppet on one of his arms. And he's like way bigger than Bill Murray.
Now that's my favorite thing.
Yeah. And then he just drives the pickup truck right off the cliff. It's this sweet ass flipping pickup truck crash. Larry's like, yeah, he's probably okay. And then it fucking explodes. So now Phil's resurrected. So he tries to kill himself a bunch of different ways. He electrocutes himself with a toaster, jumps in front of a truck, leaps from the top of a tall tower, and yeah, nothing. Like every day he wakes up and he's fine.
Yeah.
So now he's like, all right, I'm just going to tell Rita what's going on because now I know everything. So he tells Rita that he's a god and that he knows everything. And maybe God doesn't know everything because he's omniscient. Maybe he's just been around a while. And yeah, he's like telling her everything about all the people in the diner. He's like, in 5 seconds, someone's going to drop a tray. And it happens right when he says it's going to. He writes down everything Larry's going to say on a piece of paper, right as Larry says it. So Rita's like, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of the day with you just to see what happens.
Right. Just out of genuine concern for you as a person.
Yeah. So,
See,
and
I like this because like he's like basically giving up the ego part of himself. Like this is
Yeah.
like this is where he kind of gives up that ego. And so the day he spends with her, like literally, is just them having a regular ass day, just like
Mhm.
being people. He's probably being his
Being
most himself
genuine.
he's ever been in his entire life.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no I can't think of the word, but he's not. There's no like.
Like ulterior motive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not trying to bang her at this
Yeah.
point.
and he tells her that he's been a jerk thus far. Thus far. And yeah, she stays with him, falls asleep next to him in bed. And while she's asleep, he confesses that he does love her. And I think at this point, it's less of like, I have to have you, and now more of like, I actually have seen the positive qualities inside you,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and care about those.
But it's still not like I don't think it's still real love. I think at this point it's more like you're the only person that's actually like been nice to me now. So
Well, I
it's
think-
less of a purely sexual infatuation.
Yeah.
Now it's like I
Well,
like
and he-
you, but I don't know how to parse that. So
Yeah.
I love
And
you.
He even admits that he doesn't deserve her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there is some semblance of love, at least, because in that earlier scene when he's calling that other girl Rita, shows he has her on his mind. So she
It was
has
just
some kind of
infatuation at that
That,
point.
yeah, that was just
Maybe.
attraction.
Yeah.
All right,
like
so
I think she has always been something for him to conquer. Like all the before this, it was like
yeah,
she was
challenge to
something
overcome.
Yeah, for him to overcome. And now he's like, oh, she's like a person. Oh,
Yeah.
she's genuine. Oh, she like all this stuff starting to come.
Mm.
While he's like letting go of the ego and all the shit of it with himself.
Yeah,
So he can actually become a better person.
yeah. The ego is a good word for it.
Yeah. And he starts to have it's like a very minor, like Ebenezer Scrooge moment at this point where he's like, maybe it's not all about, what I can do for me.
Gluttony and
Yeah.
lust.
Yeah.
So,
So-
let's see what else is out there.
Now he wakes up the next day alone, and he's like, all right, I'm going to decide to help this homeless man that I see every day, because he's just going to fucking die. And, this gets real sad, because he learns at this point there's just certain things he can't change, no matter how hard he tries. This guy's going to die today.
But here's the interesting thing. Did you notice that the homeless guy remembers him?
I did not.
So the first
Ooh.
day,
No,
he gives him all the money in his pocket.
Uh-huh.
And then the next day, he takes the homeless guy for food.
Yeah.
Because he still sees that he's like freezing or whatever.
Yep.
So the next morning he comes back and he takes him for food, and the homeless guy recognizes him.
I think that's supposed to be the day he gave him the money. Is
No, it's
the
not the same day. It's not the same day.
Mm.
Because I thought that too at first, but it's not the same day.
Not when he gets him all the food, but I think when he takes him to the hospital and he dies.
Yeah.
Same day.
It could very well be the same day, because it's morning and night. It's morning when he gives him the money, and
Yeah.
then it's night when he takes him to the
I
hospital.
will say this is the first time I noticed. I also read about it, so it helped. But the little bit that does lead to later is when he takes the guy to the hospital. You can see there's a kid in the background with a broken leg. That's the kid he saves from the tree.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Well, I'm still on my point. I still feel that he would recognize him. I think if you go back and watch the tapes, the evidence will speak for itself.
Either way,
The case
You're-
is rested.
you're not
I
saving
had this, I had this thought that
this
the old
old dude.
homeless man used to be the mayor until Brian Doyle Murray blackmailed him. He
So-
wanted that sweet groundhog gig for himself.
I think
He's
the
like-
homeless man was God in this movie. Like, he's like the
God is
Morgan
dead.
Freeman situation.
All right. So now he's like, all right, time to improve my skill set. I'm gonna oh, actually he did change at this point. He brought coffee and donuts to Rita and Larry in the morning. So he is starting to be much nicer to them. He's like, time to improve the skill set. I'm gonna learn to ice sculpt. I'm gonna go to this piano teacher's house and like give her $1,000 for a piano lesson. And I'd love just that like 5-second delay, and just kicks this poor little teenage girl out on the porch.
Yeah, that was.
It's like, get the fuck out of here.
I was like, show the kid getting kicked out. Show it. Come on.
Yes.
I also love, thankfully she doesn't remember it, but that means for like 10 years he did that to this poor girl.
Yep.
So did Tony, were you able to find was 10 years the official number?
More or less. It's
According to the
as
director.
I said, yeah, as I said, I guess the original idea was it was going to be like 10,000 years, but according to him during a commentary track on the movie, he has said like he imagines it's probably about 10 years.
Okay.
So Ned comes up to him, tries to talk to him. He just grabs Ned in the the manliest of man hugs and is like, I don't know where you're going today, but can you call out sick?
Yeah, we got to get some like gay panic jokes in
Yep.
there.
So Ned's like, I gotta go. And then we go into what turns out to be the final day, and it starts with him just giving this awesome ass speech that he's probably done, hundreds of times now at the Groundhog ceremony. Everyone's just watching that like, holy crap. Larry's like, you touched me, and then he's like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go run errands. I gotta go save this kid who never fucking thanks me. His kid falls from a tree. He got change a flat tire. He saves Brian Doyle Murray from choking on a steak. And then we cut to the party that Phil's been avoiding going to this whole time. There's the Groundhog Day celebration or whatever. And I like Larry's there with Nancy, and he does the old, I'm going to give a bigger tip, a $2 tip, and then I'm going to pick $1 up when Nancy's not looking. That move.
I do like how like this whole day,
Yeah.
Phil's doing everything for everyone else but himself. Like,
Yeah.
the whole day. That's his whole focus is everyone else. He doesn't talk about himself not one time the whole day.
Yeah, he's trying to give everybody else a good day.
Yeah. I feel like seeing the homeless guy die and knowing that he couldn't fix it was his moment of like, hey, I need to actually start like caring about things other than like outside of myself.
Right.
I call it the Uncle Ben moment. Great
Well, yeah.
power becomes great responsibility.
Like a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Or,
I thought he liked rice. My bad.
I also think it is
he does love right.
funny you say come to Jesus. I also almost think it is a good moment to remind him he is not God, because I don't know when he said that how much he actually believed it. And this is a reminder, like, yeah, you're living the same day and you can't die, but you can't, affect things that much. Like things are still, it's life.
So he's now inside the party when Larry, Rita, and Nancy walk in there. He's playing the piano and he's tearing it up. Got some sweet
Blues
mullets in
Brothers
this
zing
band.
all over that.
What's that?
These Blues Brothers zing all over that
Yep.
piano.
It's like before it even showed him, I'm like, oh, he's wearing like some sunglasses, it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the piano teacher's there. He's like, he's my student. Like, so fucking proud.
I'm gonna bang.
Which also doesn't make any sense, because that means now, roughly 10 years later, he still went back there for a lesson on this last day.
That day he went.
When he
He had to
clearly
borrow a
didn't need it.
keyboard.
Well, the piano teacher probably was like, I don't want to have to play this whole fucking concert, so maybe I'll let him play a few songs, and got him into the gig.
Like when they do
Either
the
way.
child's recital.
Yep. He dances with Rita now, and everyone comes over and talks about how awesome Phil Connors is. And so now they're like, all right, time to auction off some people.
Oh, wait, quick. I want to mention here, though. Did anyone notice the newly married couple?
Uh-huh.
That is Michael Shannon in one of his first movie roles.
I did not know that was Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Neil
what is
before Zod.
Hayden Welch, I believe, the voice of Starfire.
Who's Michael Shannon? I don't remember him.
He was Zod in Man of Steel.
Oh, I will kill him.
Yeah, that scary motherfucker was this young kid that's like, yay, wrestling tickets.
I mean, in all fairness, this is 80s WrestleMania. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Then
not
he got-
knocking it. I just
Well-
it's hard to believe that's him.
Will and I discovered that apparently Jesse the Body Ventura has been following Phil around for the entirety of the movie anyway. So
Actually, well, it was 93. I wonder what WrestleMania it would have seen. What WrestleMania happened in 1993?
it's too early for The Rock.
Oh, WrestleMania 9. That's one of the worst ones ever.
There you go.
That's the one where Hulk Hogan just showed back up in the company, and like like the bad guy won the championship. It was a Yokozuna won the championship from Bret Hart, and then immediately, for whatever reason, the bad guy immediately challenged Hulk Hogan to a match right there, and Hulk Hogan beat him in like 30 seconds. And so he's like, "Oh, hi, I'm back. I'm the champion now. Fuck
Wow.
you, Bret Hart." Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But did he rip his shirt?
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Brother.
All right. So anyway, so where are we now? So now we have to bid for some people. We're selling the guys.
Right.
So there's a
Two
bidding
guys.
war breaking out for Phil, which Rita wins by spending her entire checkbook.
Well, I like the most out of this scene is the fact that apparently they didn't have any bachelors like set beforehand.
Yeah.
For this thing.
It was like, everyone, come on down.
It's like, we need volunteers. We didn't think this through.
So Larry's feeling all impressive now. He gets up there. No one bids. Well, like an old lady bids for him. Bids 2 bits, 25 cents. Like, you can't hear it, but you could like just see the oh shit go across Chris Elliott's lips when he sees her. So meanwhile, Phil and Rita,
Best day together.
they probably did. So Phil makes an ice
invented
sculpture.
the blowjob.
Jeez. My 2 bits are a little saggier than they used to be.
Teeth out.
All right, so Phil, he
I gave John a check for the preacher out.
oh good lord. So
Okay, I'll stop.
Phil makes an ice sculpture of Rita. It's really pretty. I am disappointed that they didn't put juice on it and then eat it, unfortunately. But
that would have been funny.
yeah. So Phil, though,
Out of a Snoopy snow cone maker.
that thing was the shit. That we had that back in the day.
They still make them.
Yeah. So Phil, he finds his happiness there with Rita. They kiss. Apparently go back to his room. It's 6 a.m. again. They're playing I Got You Babe, but it's different commentary, and an arm reaches across and turns the radio off, and it's Rita.
I just want to point out.
Mhm.
Want to point out because this is the last day.
Yeah.
He had been spending money like wild.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He
His
bought
wallet's fucked.
he bought Ned's his entire insurance package.
Yeah.
He bought everything from life to
He's
home.
going to cancel those checks. immediately.
Yep. Those WrestleMania tickets, that was in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. He bought a new tire. He bought a bunch of different things that day.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
Spent a shit ton of money. Now he has the skills now to back up. The purchase. He can work. And make him a ton of money now. All the things he learned. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's got a couple of PhDs now. He's multilingual. Yeah, he'll be all right.
For that matter, we're assuming he didn't rob the bank again.
Wow.
I would think that him doing all the things for other people like him stealing wouldn't have qualified him to make the day a good day for everyone.
Hopefully not.
That would be really messed up, though. He finally gets to keep all that money. But the rest of the town goes broke.
He's the in charge of everything now.
Yeah.
He's the Mr. Burns.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
So we see now there were the blizzard's aftermath has taken hold, and there's snow everywhere now. There's no people outside. It's a new day. Phil and Rita go outside. He's like, let's live here. Let's run down the street in the middle of the street like assholes.
That was a shitty blizzard. That was like 3 inches of snow.
Like 3 inches of snow.
All the snow was melted out of the street at that point.
Yeah, like
Pool's open.
It's 6 a.m. too. Like that should not be that clear yet. So yeah, and that's it. Like we cut back to the clouds. We get that shitty weatherman song again. Movie over.
I did like that Chris Elliott implied that Bill Murray was gonna bang the groundhog when he stole it.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and that's the end of Groundhog Day. Sweet romantic comedy.
I don't know.
Tony, what does Rotten Groundhogs have to say about this film?
Well, the critics on this gave it a 96%.
Certified fresh.
Damn.
Audience gave it an 88%.
All right.
That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Rob?
I mean, yeah, this is still a fun movie. It's very enjoyable, very watchable. It holds a different meaning for me now because I don't really look at it as such a romantic comedy as I do just this guy learning to not be an absolute creep monster. Because the beginning of this movie is it's pretty dark. He's like downright rapey in a lot of this. But I do appreciate that he like learns to kind of look beyond himself, and then out of that he gets to experience actual romance. So I guess in that way it's kind of a romantic comedy, but I feel like the romance takes a real backseat to just his personal growth. But overall I enjoyed it. I always enjoy watching Groundhog Day.
All right, Will.
Yeah, pretty similar opinion to what Rob said. It holds up extremely well. It's some beats are still pretty funny. Like Bill Murray's great in it, as he is in most things. But like we said at the top, you watch it as a child and you have this certain opinion of it, and it's on TNT every freaking Saturday, and you're like, oh, it's he's at this point in his process. I'll tune in and watch it from there for a little bit. And as you age, you kind of realize, okay, it's not just straight up comedy. There's some underlying stuff of like, this dude is kind of a monster. Like, how many times did he hook up with Nancy Taylor, and how many times did he try to gaslight Andie MacDowell into tricking her into trying to sleep with him. But there is at least a bit of a turn where it makes it he's not like a totally evil character, where he does realize that he's made mistakes and kind of goes on a better path. But yeah, extremely enjoyable. Total recommend from me.
Joe.
Solid A. I can't really think of anything with it that I would change. It's not an A+ because of that fucking Weatherman song. That's it. I changed that. That's
raindrops are falling on my head.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't use that one, but it's I can't really say much else. It's not a perfect movie, but it's close. It's a solid A.
Brian.
Yeah, this movie's great. Like Rob was saying, as a kid, I didn't quite get the underlying tones of it. It just seemed like a fun, wacky idea of a movie. He live the same day over and over and over again. As an adult, I realized how much torture that would actually be, and how much actual strength it takes to get past the torture part to actually to enrich yourself. Because
work in retail.
Yeah. toward the end of the movie, like he no longer is trying to get over on a person. He literally he changed who he is to be someone who's looking to enrich themselves to be a better person, and that takes a lot of courage and strength when you've been shitty for so long, because you might put yourself in your own spiral to just keep doing what you've been doing. But all the shit he went through helped him do that. So as an adult, I'm like, oh, I see that tone of the movie now, and so I still enjoy the movie, even as an adult. So I'd give it an A as well, and even though there are some cringy ideas behind some scenes, whatever, it doesn't actually get cringy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of movies from the late '80s, early '90s can be cringy as fuck. This one doesn't quite hit that line, so
I don't know. He gropes her pretty hard in some of those.
Yeah, I guess for me it's not necessarily cringy, but it's just darker than you remember it as a kid, and I don't know if I would show it to my child at such a young age that I saw it, but at least
even the scene in particular where he's all handsy on her, she has ownership of herself, and she puts him down thoroughly, and and she's not passive to his bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right. So, she's got a standard.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's I give it an A. I definitely I'd watch it again. I'll watch it next year. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat, and what you're saying is very true, because again, not just that she has her own agency and everything, but part of what I read was also they intentionally avoided going too dark with some of the stuff, because living a life with no consequences means he could be doing a lot more, and here at least he accepts no means no and things like that. But yeah, it is again, I as a kid enjoyed it for just the funness of it, and it is kind of like, I'm sure it's not the first, but it's the grandfather of the Reliving the Day movies, and it just I appreciate it more now, even with the darker side to it. It's basically the second dark, twisted version of like the Scrooge fairy tale that we get from Bill Murray, but it's really well done. It's an enjoyable watch, so yeah, I appreciate it. I like it. I'd recommend it. So we're all giving a recommend. So we're recommending Groundhog's Day from 1993. What else we got for the people, Rob?
Well, I do believe it is Joe's turn to roll.
Let me fire this app up. You ready for me, baby? You ready? You got your list? It's randomized.
Okay, you're good.
It's all set. All right. Patang! I rolled a 4.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. All right, and 4 is X2, X-Men United.
Oh. I wonder.
That's
how
a
this
good one,
movie
Brian. That's a
holds
good
up.
one.
We'll see.
That's not X3. It's not X3.
No.
It's not Last Stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It is-
we've had over a decade of
Listen,
Marvel movies done
We have
better.
We have to look at this in a vacuum.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we did with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. You're just mad because Brian Cox gets
He's
drowned
back, I
in
know.
the thing. I don't. And now he's just shilling McDonald's. All right.
At least he doesn't electrocute himself in a tub.
Okay.
That's true.
The Ring?
Oh yeah,
Wait, what?
like in The Ring.
He's in the Ring?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
He was
Nor do I have
Samara's
it.
father.
All right, cool.
Anyway.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta take a dump.
All right, Joe.
So
Thanks for that.
let's wrap this up.
Gentlemen, we
Remember,
want to
for
thank
$5, you can listen to Joe take a dump.
That's right.
Please don't spend that.
Or Dump
I'll
Cheer.
record it, but you're gonna be disappointed with what you get.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Listeners, thank you. You guys are great. I want to give a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers. You guys make this all happen, and we really do appreciate everything that you do. For everybody else, if you want to hear our older episodes, you can find our complete episode archive at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. You can, of course, support us by picking up some merchandise at teespring.com/4ampodcast. You can, of course, support the podcast elsewise. Like I said, get access to patrons-only content at patreon.com/4ampodcast. You can email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And other than that, you can just tune in to our next episode, X2, X-Men United. Anything else, gentlemen?
Oh,
That's it.
Yeah.
deuces.
Have a
Adios.
lovely day.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.